So we're back in East Prussia, trailing some interesting looking bunkers that I haven't seen before. And I found this one, which looks a little bit like a German Hoch-bunker, but not really. And yes, of course, I'm near the railroad, because I'm in East Prussia. I am not overly far from Gdansk. I think we're about 10 kilometers outside the city to the east. And there's a string of fortifications, as there have been ever since the Prussian Empire. And there's this one. It's very close to what is currently an electrical plant. And there's absolutely no information on this thing. Hopefully by the time you see this, I'll know a little more. But it could be a bunker to house an electrical plant. But it is actually kind of interesting. Never seen anything like this before. I actually don't know. Looks like there's a little support building over there. There's also what looks like an electrical substation around here, just on the other side. It really does look like a Hoch-bunker, doesn't it? However, that ramp would be a clear indication that something heavy has been rolled in there, or should be rolled in there. Probably more than just an engine or a power plant, because why would you roll the power plant out? And it was shot at. If you will just disassociate yourself from the graffiti for a minute. That was an impact. That's an impact. Look like there's some. Look like the roof was cemented additionally. Afterwards, don't really know what to make of that. Oh, branch. There's a huge impact up there as well, on the side. I don't know what to make of this. That's what I saw from a distance. Was this groove. Saw that from the road. And to me, that's almost rudimentary ventilation, isn't it? If inside there's something that will give me a better idea what that is. I'm sure there is. Well, I guess this is the boring side, since we let the nature take over that one. Alright. Let's go have a look and see what we can see. It's very interesting that there's these. I'm just looking around here. There's mounts. Looking around here are the mounts on the ground. Something was here, maybe a little. I was going to say crane or support, but I don't see why that would be. Huh. Alright. Well, everything's open, so let's just go in and see. Don't know why I necessarily want to crawl in here. I don't think I have to. Huh. So this is just a very small, very low little technical room. Probably some cables have gone out there. And that's the main room in there. Alright, I'm going to crawl out again. this again. Not much reason to be in this little room, but that's all there is. It's this little room there. And what's this? A rebar? There was obviously a lid or a door. It doesn't look like it was particularly heavy here. So we'll just again disassociate ourselves from the local drunks. And we'll see this. Well, there's been fire in here. Shocking. Hasn't there always been in these though? Very sad. The main room is in there. That's bricked up post-war. Now that's interesting. Why is there a little groove up there when there's nothing there? Can't see anything here. There's nothing there. There's just an empty roof and then this huge overhang. But inside this overhang must be some sort of something that doesn't seem to have a connection to the main room because there's a groove on the outside. That's very strange. There's nothing leading into it or up there. There's no daylight coming in. That's very strange. Guess we have to go around. This was bricked up after the war, obviously. All right, we'll go around and up the ramp. Very, very strange. All right, so we'll walk up the ramp here. A fairly heavy door, must have been here. See the steel and the door sills here. You'll forgive me if I sound a little less than enthusiastic. I just landed yesterday, last night, and I am a little jet lagged. Woke up at 4:17, so that looks like wood there, doesn't it? It does look like wood, but I think looks like a wooden subfloor, and then here would have been, that is a wooden subfloor because insulation up there. Could have been a post-war thing, I suppose. Somebody had used this, but this is where the power plant would have sat. Large generator of some sorts. Probably a large diesel generator, obviously. And then next to it, there was a door that was a full door at one point. And probably a few for it sitting in there. And it was sitting on this. That is now rubbled. It looks like there was a sliding door, but there couldn't have been because there was nowhere for it to go. I think this was just a bunker. This was just a bunker for the generator. Very interesting. I wonder what was around here, or at least within the vicinity of here, since there's a generator here, or was. And okay, I'll also be, the red brick could be authentic, or it could have been somebody, now, you know, I'm gonna go with this being a wartime door. Huh. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Wonder why it's here. And there's the support building, and it was fenced in because there's nice heavy fence posts here. I'm imagining the support building will be just as graffitied up and full of bottles and cans as everything else, although you see there's a power plant. You see all the electricity that's running through here. So that's obviously something that has happened before. Oh, somebody's living in there, so they put up a tent here. There's a mattress on the floor. This was used post-war with the plastic, although the coat hanger may actually have been authentic. Yeah. I don't think this is related to the Hoch-bunker, and I think we can call it a Hoch-bunker. When you look at the pillars here at the entrance, that was a heavy door that's sealing this off, closing it. The railroad is right over there, where it has probably been ever since the time of the war, and ever since the time of the Prussian Empire, I'm imagining. Now, there's a little cement thing here, which could just be a bridge that's holding the railroad. It could also just be a little bunker, I think. I should go have a look at it just for the heck of it. Right, it is just a little bridge running over the stream that's here, but certainly it has age to it. Yeah. All right. It does certainly look like it's from that time when that thing went. So that's where the.
Alright, this actually was rather special. It is one of the only Type A bunkers ever built, the only one I could find in existence. It held 2 diesel generators, and underneath the entrance there was a huge 5,000-liter diesel tank. But no service hatch or any other access to this has ever been found. The walls were up to 4 meters thick, and when the Russians got here, the area was so flooded that not until 1949 could the Poles remove the engines and armored doors for use elsewhere. This was a backup power station, in case the main one in Gdansk was destroyed or bombed, and the diesel was delivered here by rail, thus the proximity. But there are anomalies about this bunker and what the official story is. It is noted that it is to be 2 levels, reaching almost 10 meters down, somehow. And that horizontal slit makes me wonder as well. There must be a room behind it. So for now, this is the official story, but we have to revisit this with more information later.
My name is Tino Struckman. I run Lost Battlefields. Every year, I travel around the world to try to bring you to all the most interesting historical military locations from modern wars and the World War II special projects, battlefields, forts, fortresses, and tunnels, everything else. Things you may not be able to see or go to yourselves. Please join me on Patreon or join Lost Battlefields through the website so you get access to all my files and my notes. It really does help, and like, follow, share here on the channel if you can. That helps too.